Hello, my name is Sarah Beard and I'm the CEO of Take 3 for the Sea. But before I did this job, I worked as a film and television producer for nearly 30 years. I've worked in lots of different types of films and television, but what I love most is documentary filmmaking. So real stories about real events or real people. And what I love about documentary films is that you can talk about things that are important to you, or things that you think people need to know. My last film was a film called Blue, which is an ocean conservation film, and some of you might have even seen it. I'm very excited that you all have the opportunity to make your own films for the Take 3 short film competition. The theme of the competition is My Ocean Home. Of course, being Take 3, we had to make it about the ocean. To get you started, I thought I'd give you some top tips for when you're thinking about making your own films. Tip number 1. Story is everything. The most important thing when you're making a film is your story. You can have amazing locations, fascinating people, brilliant camera work, but if your story is not engaging, your film might not work so well. It's got to be like your most favourite book that you just can't wait to turn the page and see what's going to happen next. It doesn't need to be complicated. The simplest stories often work the best, but you really need to think about, what is the story that I'm going to tell? Ask yourself, is it a story about me? Is it a story about the way I feel about the ocean or my connection to it? Or is it a story about the problems that the ocean is facing and how we all need to fix it? It can be about your favourite thing about the ocean, what you like to do, surf or swim, or your favourite marine creature. Does your story have an important message, like stopping plastic pollution in the oceans? The most important thing is having a good story. What is your story? Write down your ideas and share with your teacher and friends. Tip number 2, tone. What is the tone of my film? Tone is the way a film feels. How does it make your audience feel? Is it uplifting? Is it shocking? Is it funny? Is it sad? You need to decide how you want your audience to feel while they're watching your film. You can use things like soundtrack, the lighting, the colours, the music, all the different things. This is the tone of your film. How do you want people to feel when they're watching your film? Write down your ideas about the tone of your film, how you want people to feel. Okay, so once you've decided on your story and the way you want people to feel, you have to decide about what you're going to have in your film. How are you going to tell your story? So tip number 3, you have to decide who and where. Decide, will your film have people in it? Is it you or a friend or no people, just the ocean? And where are you going to film it? At your favourite beach? Write down your thoughts and your ideas. Tip number 4, proper planning. Planning, planning, planning. It's really, really important to plan out your film before you go out and do any filming. You can turn your story into a script, a storyboard, or even a shot list. A storyboard doesn't have to be super detailed drawings. It can be stick figures. That's fine. It's just that when you go out to film, you really know and you're really clear about what you want to do. So you have a list of all the different shots that you need to film, maybe where the light's coming from. It's all about planning and preparing. The worst thing that can happen is you spend a day out filming, and then when you come back to edit your film, you're missing some of the shots that you need for when you're telling your story. If you're doing interviews with anybody, write down your interview questions beforehand so that you have them ready for you. Tip number 5, equipment. Next, you need to decide how you're going to actually make your film. What is the equipment I'm going to use? What are the tools that I need? Will I use my phone camera or a video camera? Maybe I'm going to make an animated film out of just taking still photographs or drawings or clay animation. Remember we talked about tone? Is it going to be colour or black and white? Is it going to have bright lighting or dark lighting to tell my story? So you have to think about, what are the tools? What is the equipment I need to help set the tone of my story? Write down your ideas, write down what equipment you use, and share with your friends. Okay, Tip number 6, always be safe. Okay, there might not be an Academy Award for a safety person on a film, but I think it's as important as everything else. Before you go out filming, talk with your teachers and your parents about what you're doing and how you can be safe when you're doing that. If you're filming with your friends, make sure you talk about these things with your friends before you go out and plan how you can be safe. What's the first thing you do when you're going outside in the summer? You wear a hat, you wear sunscreen, and you take your water bottle with you. As a director of a producer, you have to think about every little detail, including how you can be safe when you're making your film. You need to think of everything. Write down what you're doing, any things that may be unsafe, and how you're going to make sure you can do them safely. Okay, so we're getting there. Tip number 7, paper edit. More planning. Once you've done all your filming and you've watched all your shots and you've selected the very best ones that you filmed, before you actually start editing, you need to do what we call a paper edit. All that means, it's really simple, is listing down all of your favourite shots that you need to tell your story and what might go with those shots. So for example, if you film some waves, your favourite wave shot, write down what number it is, what it looks like, and then maybe the dialogue or the text on the screen or the music or something that's going to go with it. So that when you actually come to edit, again, you're perfectly organised. Everything's laid out on your paper. This is something that you can discuss with your teachers, your friends and your family to let them know what your ideas are and hear if they've got any points of view. Filmmaking is a collaboration. Always ask people's point of view. Tip number 8, sound and music. Don't forget your sound. The soundtrack of a film is so important. Remember tone? So when you're out filming, make sure you record the sound if you can. Think about recording the sound effects of the ocean or your feet scrunching on the sand. And your music. You don't have to have music in your film, but music really helps with the tone to whether your film's a scary film, a sad film, a happy film. Think about the kind of music that you want to play in the background of your film. Write down your ideas and think about that before you go out and film. Tip number 9, title. A great title is really, really important. Think of a title that will make people want to watch your film. The title should give a sense, a bit of a hint about what your film's about, but don't give all your secrets away. Tip number 10, it's probably the most important tip of all, and that is to have fun. Filmmaking is such an amazing way to tell a story. There are so many different techniques, so many different tools and ideas. Write them all down before you even start. You can make your film by yourself or you can make your film with friends, which can often be a lot more fun. It's a very collaborative process where you can discuss ideas with your teacher, your family, your friends to tell an amazing story. Good luck with your films. I can't wait to see them. I'll be their judge and we'll see you very soon.